Jujitsu, when I hit you, then I split you. Jujitsu, when I hit you, then I split you.
And we're back,
Oh, hello,
baby.
my friend.
And we're back.
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you as well. Glad to see you're on the mend, getting back into it.
Dude, I don't have inferior DNA.
Well, now that you got the ligaments of a marathoner, I think you're good.
Dude, just doubled it.
Yeah. And I'm still figuring out how to give you my stem cells, so I can't find anyone to extract them and then just hand them over. I don't know. Is it like a shot? Is it like a pill? You sprinkle it on Cheerios?
It's probably a shot, and I'll tell you, Pat Sullivan can figure it out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we should get him on the podcast. He's probably already done it, man. He's probably figured it out.
So I took it from my balls, and
That's it. You just got to put the needle in the nutsack and just pull out the stem cells, and then right into your name. That's good as new.
Whatever, man. It's good. It's the youngest of the youngest human body.
Nah, that is true.
Probably has the most growth hormones.
Yeah, he probably just donates them. He's probably one of those donors, donating all that stuff for clinical research and all that. But good for him.
Perfect. So what's good, man?
It's crazy. It's good. It's nothing negative, but with everything going on, I've been seeing like an influx from friends, coworkers, everything. A lot of people are leaving their jobs, like I'm calling their careers, and like starting like their own thing. Like a lot of people have just recently I've seen have just decided just said fuck it, and I'm just gonna take a chance on myself. Like when we had Sam on, he kind of talked like but photography was like a hobby for a long time, and then he made the jump, and now he's like blowing the hell up, which is awesome. But now I'm starting to see a lot more people do that, and that kind of made me think about things that I've done in the past too, or times where I've like really taken a chance on myself and like the benefits, even if it doesn't work out. Like there's always benefits I've seen with kind of making like the jump.
100%. It's scary as shit.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
It's one of those things that it's terrifying because the other thing is relying on yourself and being able to take full ownership of things, right? So a lot of people, especially younger generation, not picking on them, but it's just facts for facts, is nobody ever takes responsibility for themselves anymore. And don't, everybody listens to like the gurus like Gary Vee and stuff like self-ownership. And you see like all the young bucks like, yeah, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to be this. I'm going to do that. I'm taking self-ownership. But like, what are you doing? What are you actually really doing in real life? So it's one thing to be, on social media, on the gram, whatever it is, pretending. But what are you doing? Because to be successful, it's not all the flashy things like the people showing you the Lambos and the cars and all that. They don't show like the 17, 18-hour work weeks and work days and, maybe not sleeping for 2 days. And, if you're building out something sheetrock and you don't even know what you're doing, trying to figure it out. Like I've gone through all that. And I'm not the most successful, but I'm not unsuccessful either. So, it's hard, it's scary, but it's also one of the most gratifying things because you have to rely on yourself and then you have nobody to blame but yourself if you fail on yourself. And so I think a lot of people get confused too. Like it's okay to fail because at least you tried, then you figured out a way not to do it. And, most really successful people didn't do one and done. They failed at 1,000 things before they hit it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So have you watched Squid Game on Netflix?
I don't watch Commie Propaganda anymore. Sorry. Go ahead. But I've seen like
just going back to
is it like all the Korean people?
The guy who wrote that was getting initially the door slammed in his face for 10 years on that. Like 10 years of like grinding, like, and everyone was just saying no to him. And then finally Netflix picks it up and now it's like the #1 show on Netflix. The same thing with like J.K. Rowling, all the Harry Potter books. Years.
She was homeless.
Just getting. Yeah. just getting doors slammed in her face, and now she's one of like the highest paid authors in the world.
Dude, so, Sylvester Stallone with Rocky, he sold his dog.
Yeah,
and somebody
and
offered him
back to him for like $3,000 or something, or
whatever. If it was worth it, it was worth it.
Yeah,
that was it. That was a minute investment in his future.
Yeah,
in the grand scheme of things, when you look at it, even though he just like 3,000% vig you on your own dog, but yeah.
Well, I think about it too. I mean, there's obviously in work and careers, but I also think about, obviously I always tie some back to training. But I remember like the last Sakura super fight, the one that you cornered me on.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember like preparing for that. Like, dude, I trained like a motherfucker. I'm talking like 2-a-days, like strength and conditioning, like just like any session I could. I was probably training 6 days a week. And I went out there and I felt like I put on a pretty decent show, but ended up getting subbed.
Mm-hmm.
And, I feel like your average person putting in all that work and then coming up short, it's very easy to be like, you know what, maybe I'm not cut out for this. But even like as I was getting down to myself, like kind of coming back to it, I'm like, all right, so I got subbed. But from, 3 months prior to now, am I a better like practitioner now? Now I'm stronger. My technique, I know, is significantly better. And like, I'm a better person overall with this experience, even though at the very end, I came up very short. So.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, especially if you're just going to bring it to jiu-jitsu, like, there's not all the Gordon Ryans out there that are, undefeated in so many, matches and whatever. But like people, he didn't win anything till he was like a brown belt.
Yeah, same thing with Honda Blas, said the same thing.
Like, and Gary Tonin too, really. Like, they weren't even really starting to like win things until they were like purple belts, brown belts, even some of them black belts to, win something. So, I mean, but like you said too, most normal people give up after they fail once and then they go back to safety and security, right? So I think it's a blessing and a curse that I got into business at 21, 22. So I've never been able to rely on anybody financially besides myself. Like nobody like, oh, I show up for a 9 to 5, get my paycheck, have a 401k, have good health bennies, all that other stuff, have, an IRA set up, have a budget that I can be like, okay, I can spend this much this month because I'm getting this constant check, anything. I've always been like, roll the fucking dice. Woo. But as I get older, I'm intelligently rolling the dice because I recklessly rolled the dice when I was younger, but like, I've always knew where I wanted and where I want to be. And some people get success, their school or this blows up like overnight. In the first couple of years, they have great success, whatever. And then, me, I'm more of a death by 1,000 cuts person.
Okay.
I'm
Graphic,
just
but I like it.
But I'm just too stupid to give up. And I just keep going. 1 foot in front of the other.
Yeah, but
1 foot in front of the other.
Look at this. Look at that. Look at the aspect of experience. Like you look at the age of like when some people get into business versus others. So you got in at 21. Like you made your mistakes, and like there's probably still things that you make mistakes, but now you have so much experience behind it. Now if you fall, you get back up that much quicker.
I know how to recover and not wallow in my sorrow as long.
Yeah,
where it used to just like beat me down for like weeks, or months. And, now I'm like, fuck it. All right, that failed. Shit, let's figure this out. We don't have time. Turn it around.
Yeah, and I think you only get that type of knowledge from experience. You have to feel it and you have to be in it in order to be like, okay, let this soft, but I've been here before, so okay, like pivot, move on, like go from there, and like you're back on your feet before you know it.
Well, fear paralyzes it. Does that make sense? Like fear can paralyze you, whether it's competing.
Absolutely.
You get that, like, like analysis paralysis. You're just like, like I never do this in training, but I'm going to go for a flying triangle, and you get slammed on your head and you get knocked out. And you could do that in business too, where you're in like a weird spot, but like all of a sudden, like, it's just like, you're like, I got so many things to do. And you're like, okay, let me make a list. Let me get something to do. And then you get all of a sudden, you're just like, I didn't get to this today. And then the list keeps compiling, gets bigger and bigger. And then you almost get to a point where you're like, I have so much shit to do, but I'm not doing anything because I'm like so nervous to make a move. Like I was stuck in that for probably like 2 years where like I was just like, there's so much shit. I gotta get this done. Blah, blah. But then I couldn't make any decisions. I was like, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if they should do that. And then I did nothing and it just compounded. So now I try to
you can
go ahead.
You can like easily talk yourself out of like almost anything. And I still struggle with it to this day. Even in something simple as like registering for a tournament. As soon as I can pull up the webpage, I'll be like, 1,000 like voices come up like, oh wait, maybe you have something to do that weekend. Oh, are you sure you're gonna be on weight? Oh, you're sure you're gonna get like training in? Like
self-doubt.
Be going and like, yeah, it's just that self-doubt, and it's 1,000 conversations you have before you even click the button or even do anything, and it's insane. That I still see it, and like it happens. And it's not just jujitsu; it's even work. Like like a job posting pops up, and I'm like, oh, that looks really interesting. I think I could probably definitely go for it. But I'm just like, oh wait, what if it doesn't work out, or what if like I don't even get an interview, or what happens if I fuck it up? So it's just
the tough spot I think you're in. I think you want to do other things. Mm-hmm. And I think you're smart enough to do other things. And I think you would be very successful at other things. But like you said, like now you have like the 2 kids, the wife, and you're like, well, if it doesn't work out, like, am I going to lose the whole house? We're going to be able to afford this? Are we going to be able to? So all all that doubt comes into my head too. Like, oh, should I make this next step? Because I got fucking 5 people defending on me, so on and so forth. So it doesn't allow you to play as loose. But I've also been like playing loose since 21. So it's like nothing different for me, where like you've been in that corporate structure where it's a little harder for you to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Sell everything. We're buying a Winnebago and we're rolling.
You know what?
Does that make sense?
There's that like those conversations that come up, but then kind of going back to the 2 kids example, like when I look at my daughter, I was thinking about like, all right, well, what kind of example am I showing them by like, playing it too safe and like, not going for like when they see me, because especially when they're little, like, they're so observant, like in your kids too, like they just watch you and they see everything that you do. So I think about what do they think if they, they see me in this job for like one job for like 30 plus years. And then I'm trying to talk them into like, you got to take chances. You got to take a chance on yourself and just go.
Like, why didn't you take it, Dad?
Yeah.
I know.
It's that trying to lead by example. I mean, it's not just my kids, but also like when like even people at the gym, they ask me like, oh, Drew, like you got any competitions coming up? And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. But I think about like, shit, man, like you're like a lower belt. And like, I'm supposed to be the example, like, and I'm trying to show them like, yeah, you got to get out there and test yourself. I told them, you got to push yourself out of your comfort zone, not just from the jiu-jitsu perspective, but from like the life perspective, because you and I both know with martial arts, the lessons that you learn in martial arts and the character that you build overflow into other aspects of your life.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I don't compete anymore. I'm a puss. I'm getting old. I've been hurt a lot, and I just don't have any desire to compete in any sort of martial arts anymore. I competed since I was little.
Still train, like,
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I'll train until I'll train until you push me out of the wheelchair to get on the mat. So, I mean, but which is fine. But like, I know my lane. That's not my goal right now. I don't care to be a world champion. I don't care to win a Naga. I don't care to wear a grapplers class. I care to run a good school, keep myself in shape, expand my, business opportunities, get into more networking with certain things, expand our podcasting platform. Like, those are my goals now. I'm just in a different stage of life where like, people will be like, you still see Cyborg, but that guy's been competing and doing world championships and that's his life. Like he has a school, but like, that's his thing. He wants to do those things and I'm sure he wants to do some other things and he has other interests. But like, for me, like I'm just on a different path and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, it just comes back to, I just, as much as I have that self-doubt in those conversations, there's also the,
being human too, man.
Yeah, it's just the example. What am I showing? What am I showing my kids? What am I showing my training partners? And like those students or younger students who I may not know, maybe looking up to me and using me as an example of how they want to progress in their career. And I have no idea, but I'm,
I mean, I definitely think we're affecting people, because I had one of my kids' students, his father just signed up, and he's a couple years younger than you, or around your age, maybe a little younger than you, but around your age. But they got 3 kids, and he works full time, and he's in the like, I think he operates heavy machinery or something. So he works a ton and whatever. But he was like, dude, I started listening to your podcast with you and Drew. Came in 2 weeks ago, or right before I got injured. He's like, comes in, he's talking to me, and I talked to him during the kids class, but he's like, I think I want to do this. He's like, I think you and Drew talked me into doing this. Like, you got to take the shot. You got to do this. And fucking guy's been training for a month now.
Good.
And he said, he literally said, he goes, the only reason I'm doing it, he's like, I literally been like, once you introduced me to your podcast, 2LiveFools, he was just like, I just listened to you and Drew, and your dad's like me, and Drew works a ton of hours, and you're doing this and you're doing that, but you guys are training, and it just shows how like you get better in all aspects of your life. And he's like, I think I need that. And he's like, plus my son's training, so I don't want to beat the shit out of me. So
yeah, right?
He's a little tank. So I'm like, yeah, well, if he keeps training, by the time he's 16, he's gonna beat your ass, bro.
So, oh yeah, once they hit 16, that man strength kicks in, you're fucked.
He's like 12 now, so he's got like 4 years of hard training left, to get there.
But yeah, man, like I said, it's the example, and like it's like I said, I'm just in that space now where I'm just trying to think, like, like I said, I'm not trying to be a world champion either. I'm not trying to be a multi-billionaire, but I'm just trying to get more, kind of step out of the comfort zone and show other people. I think it's showing the people around you that it's okay. You're gonna come up short sometimes, but it's like, fuck it,
it's okay.
You gotta try.
I think a lot more people are rolling the dice over the last year or two, because they just realized like it could all be taken away like that.
A lot of uncertainty. That's the thing. In anything, I think a lot of uncertainty, and people are just, you turn on, you watch TV, you're getting bombarded with so much negativity. People are just looking for the positives and just I got to get out of here. I got to do something different. I got to change it up. Because
and I think the other thing is I think people are starting to realize that companies don't have your best interests in hand, whether it's the law or not the law, to mandate things on you. They also show that companies might not have your best interest in hand if they let everybody go right away or whatever it is. You work for them for 20 years, and they're like, and no fault, because I'm an owner too. Like, you get put in a fucking tight spot, and it's like, okay, your guys' family or my family? Like, what do I got to do to make sure that my family goes? We're gonna try to take care of our people as best as we can. But nobody knew if anybody was gonna get PPP. Nobody knew if anybody was gonna get unemployment. Nobody, And then once you do, even you saw how everybody handled everything. Yeah. People start going, all right, well, I don't want to work for a company that's going to mandatory jab me. Some people start working, they're like, I don't want to work for a company where I'm just a number. And I want to at least try to, do something that, like, I've said it since the beginning. I'd rather make $50,000 a year doing what I love than, $200,000 a year hating my life. So I think people are starting to get that trade-off of like simplicity, because like it's very materialistic, our culture, and I would say the past 10-15 years, like these kids just see like Instagram where like guys are just rappers and shit just open up their Louis Vuitton bags, carrying around $250,000 cash, dumping it out. Like, it's not realistic. Or they see like the one YouTuber that has like, 2 million followers, and they're driving around in the Lambo, and they're like, oh, they're in a mansion, but these people just keep renting mansions from like this boulevard to this boulevard. They're not even fucking furnished. They, everything's on credit. Like, but they think that that's the lifestyle and that's what it means to make it. And it's not. Yeah. In my opinion. And I mean, some people like shit like that.
I think, listen, with technology, I think if you are able to take one of these mediums, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and create like a viable business model and make like a shit ton of money, and be able to work from your laptop, work from your phone, and you kind of get out of the norm as far as going to college for 4 years and like getting like a good job. I think if you're able to use that and create like something like that, I think that's awesome. But the one thing I say, and I fucking hate it, I'm struggling so much, especially with my own children, to show them that, that shit's nice, but that's not the goal. You shouldn't be striving for the handbag, or like, like the Ferrari. those things are cool, but like that shouldn't be the only reason you're out there grinding. Like,
that will come if you're grinding to a certain
experiences.
extent. But like, even me, if I was like fucking stupid rich, I wouldn't buy a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Doesn't float my boat.
Yeah.
Boat maybe. Yeah,
cool.
that would be cool. We could party
the Lamborghini yacht. You get one of those bad boys.
Whatever, as long as it fits all of us. I want my homies to roll with me. I don't want me to be. It's not very fun on a yacht by yourself.
Yeah,
that's the other thing too. It's like you want your homies to ride with you.
Yeah, I think with all this, kind of going back to uncertainty, what's really cool is I'm seeing a push from a lot of people to be more self-sufficient. I think
they realize. I think more people are starting to realize that you cannot rely on the government to take care of you. The veil of security has fallen to some people. Me, a long time ago. You, more recent. Like, but other people, like, it's a fucking sham. It's a matrix. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think of like those companies, but like, I'm seeing a lot of these big organization experiences, and maybe I just haven't seen it, but like, you're seeing these, and this kind of goes off the self-sufficiency battle, but like you're seeing these what's Tim Kennedy's thing, the sheepdog response. Mm-hmm. You're seeing a lot of these programs going now, and then they have obviously their benefits, but even not just in that, but you're also seeing these seminars for like business. You're seeing for like emergency stuff. You're seeing business. You're seeing all aspects and tools and seminars to essentially make people more self-sufficient in what they do and try to rely more on themselves in making money, taking care of their family, and things like that. And I think that's pretty cool with all this, with this uncertainty that's going on. And I've been seeing.
Well, you see a lot of like those business things. It's like find your why. Find your why.
Oh yeah. Yeah, some of them are bullshit. Don't get me wrong, but
I mean, whether you're into it or not, but like realistically, you do have to find your why. As much cliche as it is for like whatever thing you're selling or doing or whatever it is, you see it more with the girls too. Like, oh, this is my why. This is my why, and then I think it's just a mantra to keep them like in check or whatever. But like realistically, you do have to find your why. Perfect example, like. My dad, he doesn't want to do what he's doing anymore. He's like, I just got to find something. Like, I'm like, Dad, you're 61. Like, and he's like, yeah, I'm too old to do anything. And I'm like, no, like with that mindset, you're never going to do anything, Dad. Like, you're not. So find what you like to do and figure out how to fucking make money at it.
Yeah.
If it's eating ice cream, become a professional ice cream eater. Like, figure it out. Get sponsored by fucking Haagen-Dazs.
Doesn't your dad have years of like auto body experience?
Hates it.
Yeah, but I'm saying he doesn't have to sit. He has like X amount of years in that. That doesn't disappear overnight. Now he doesn't have. I would say, for example, now he doesn't have to actually be in the shop, like like actually working on cars. Dude, he could probably run a course from like his computer or something with that experience, and just be like, "Hey, you want to learn it?" Like this?
You could, but the problem with my father is he doesn't even know how to work one of these still.
Okay.
He's one of them, and that's the problem. Instead of teaching himself, he just goes, I'm too old, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah. And he got a little bit better with it, but like he don't even know how to copy and paste, bro. You think I'm fucking joking?
And no, I'm thinking about my mother too. I'm just like, anytime
my mom too, like forever, like
I'm like, just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The PDF I just sent you in the email, you click on it. That's all you do.
I know.
That's it. Double click, and then she's FaceTiming me.
I know.
And then she puts the phone down.
And then you're looking at the table the whole time or the ceiling, right? Yeah.
She's like, do you see what I'm doing? I'm like, no, I see your fucking ceiling fan. I see your. I'm like, turn the phone towards the computer, and then I'm just looking up her nose, and I'm like,
wait a second,
you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, oh my god. Like,
I know. It takes everything in your power not to lose your shit.
And sometimes I do it, and she's like, why are you so upset?
Yeah, why are you yelling at me? I'm like, because I've been looking at your fucking nose hairs for 15 minutes, telling you to just hit the mouse twice. Tap 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 tap.
Yeah, how do you set up Uber? Like, no, not doing it. not doing it.
Dude,
Go
I'm
to the
not gonna
Apple
lie.
store,
I
talk
couldn't
to one
set
of
up Uber either. I signed up to be a driver trying to get a ride.
those.
I'm like, why the fuck do they want my social security number? I'm like, Rand,
Yeah.
we're hammered. I'm like, Rand, they're asking me for my social security number. She's like, dummy. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry.
That's like the night where you actually get in your truck and someone like gets in the back seat. Be like, oh, you Garrett? Yeah, I'm trying to get to New York. And I'm like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of my car, man. What are you doing?
I know. So true though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean something like that when you see like, especially when you see like jobs or certain jobs like that go away, if that person I think has like 20, 30 or more years of experience, that doesn't go away. It's just trying to pivot and figuring out how you can take something that you've developed and, redirecting it. So you're not so much hands-on anymore. But yeah, it does. It takes effort and a little ingenuity to figure out like, all right, how can I take this and pivot this so I'm not grinding and working like 80 hours a week. I got something that's, more my speed, or I can make my own schedule now as opposed to, doing this.
Yeah, 100%. So, I mean, speaking about all this, like hypothetically, let's say, what would you be your why and what would you want to do if you could just do it right now?
Honestly, if I had to pivot tomorrow, one job that I always wanted to do was I wanted to be, and I still think about it, like I've been like looking at like courses for it, but I've always wanted to be like an automotive journalist. Like so when like companies release like new cars and stuff, like you're
Like
that
car
guy,
and
like,
driver type
car.
thing?
Yeah, like you drive the car for X amount of weeks, or you take it like you drive it like 40,000 miles.
I know. I saw that post with the stick shift today.
Yeah. So like something like that, because I've always been like a car guy, and I think I'm a pretty decent writer, but I think that's such a cool job because they have their videos on like YouTube and like they just get to drive all day, and sometimes that leads to like some of those guys will get like a factory ride with one big manufacturer, like they'll end up racing for like Acura or like Honda or something like that, but they're still doing. On top of that, they're still doing the journalism on the side. Like they're still like
Drew's
like,
saying he wants to be a race car driver.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
So that's basically what we're getting at. You want to be Mario Andretti or Dale Earnhardt? Sweet.
Yeah, I don't think at that level, but I mean, I think because I like cars, whether it's a fast car or whether it's like your brand new Toyota Camry. Like I kind of like everything. I like writing about everything. So I mean, and there's ways to do it. Like I don't need to go get like a formal job. Like you see these guys, they start like their automotive blogs and they start doing small reviews there, and then it picks up, and then one company picks them up and they start their YouTube channel, and now they're now they're able to do this on a platform and make some money off of it and have some fun, but still enjoy what they're doing. So that's something that's always kind of been in the back of my head, and something I'm actually looking more into as of recently, just because, with this scenario, like you just have more time. So, and I'm not like a heavy sleeper. So right now, like I'll probably be up till like 2, maybe 3.
I
so
know,
it's like, why not be productive?
It's weird. I have like my witching hour where like sometimes I'll be dragging ass at a certain time, but then all of a sudden like 10 o'clock hits and I'll edit till 2 o'clock in the morning just because like everybody's sleeping.
Yeah.
And that's when my brain's just like.
There's been times like even like a couple weeks ago, like we sheetrocked the basement and I needed to paint like the whole basement. And I'm just sitting around and walking around the house, dude. 1 o'clock in the morning hits, and I'm just like, all right, throw my jeans on, throw on my shirt, start mixing up the paint. Just go down there, put on my speaker, and just sit there and just freaking paint. And I was like almost 4 o'clock in the morning, put on some Led Zeppelin, just sit there, just fucking painting, get like crack open a couple beers. And it's nice because you're like, it's like quiet, like I'm in my head, I'm by myself, and I'm just, I'm just working. No one's bothering me, like,
Yep, I get it.
It's almost like a weird form of like meditation, just doing some type of work on the house, but doing it like by yourself, like no one's messing with you.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, it's like training, moving meditation, and then like you have training that's moving meditation. You have like even like being like driving a car and being like in that zone, in that flow state.
Oh, dude, going every Saturday, going to your place, like. Like halfway to your place, I like crack open the bang and like I drink that. And as soon as that starts kind of like running through my head, like my thoughts are just all over the place. And I'm in like this perfect flow state. And I'm just like, okay, like I'm ready to go. Like this is what I'm working on today. Like, this is what I'm looking for. So, yeah, it's cool.
You do a lot more thought process than I do on that. I'm like, all right, slap 5. I'm going to choke you, fucker.
Yeah. Well, now that you got all those wrestlers in there, it's like slap 5, don't die. All right,
Don't
2
die.
steps, don't die.
Try not to die.
Don't die.
Do not let
Shoulder
them
to
on
mat,
top of you.
stay there forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Full half guard, stay here for as long as you can. Like,
Lock it down. Lock it down.
So, it's like, oh, he's getting the advance on you. Just go for the leg lock. Yeah, he's a white belt. Don't care. Going for a leg lock because I'm gonna die otherwise. Like,
I know. Some of them are tough, bro.
They're tough, man. But they're all good though. You know, because you have these guys who come out and
they're not douchey.
I'm a hothead.
Yeah, they're not like.
And then you get the wrestlers who are like, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna wrestle, but I want to learn. I want to learn how to integrate my foundation that I've been working on since I was like, 4 or whatever. And
well, that's what I said to all of them. Like I've said to all of them at one point or another through training. I'm like, I don't have to teach you how to wrestle. I have to teach you jujitsu. Yeah. You know how to wrestle. Yeah. You're a black belt in wrestling. You wrestle in college. You're a black belt in wrestling. Okay. Don't need to teach you how to wrestle. Need to teach you how to mix your wrestling with your jujitsu, and that's what I'm good at. So if you listen to me, you get better. And all of them have taken that advice.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've gotten a bunch of open-minded dudes, and they were good wrestlers. And it's not like, well, I do this or anything, like, but I'm also humble enough to be like, yo, show me how you set that up.
Yeah.
Because I want to learn and get better too.
Yeah. I mean, even like Wednesday, like when I was teaching, like I was going over some basic back takes, but like Paul, like that real good wrestler, like he's going over the back takes and he's even showing me some like wrestling stuff that he does to kind of get breakdowns to the back. He's like, yeah, well, I do this sometimes. Is this okay? I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. You're getting to the back, man. You're maintaining the back control. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you see, I'm like, you're taking pieces of your game, you're integrating with this. That's your back take now. Now you've created your own back take. You're wrestling jiu-jitsu style back take. There you go. That's it.
Perfect. Did you get to the back? Did you choke that human? Effective.
That's
effective.
Yeah, and I always tell people, especially when I like teach techniques, I'm like, listen, I might show it one way. I'm like, you may figure out some way to, do it that, it may not work for me, but it works for you. But you're getting to the back and you're getting the submission. Like, I'm just giving you the foundation. Like, what you want to do with it and build off of it.
I say it all the time too. Like, it's a tree branch and you're going to grow limbs off of it. I'm giving you a pathway and you're going to find little branches and stuff.
Yeah. So, it's fun, man. Like I see myself slowly getting better at teaching, which is cool.
So the moral of this week podcast, kids, is get out of your comfort zone. Try something new.
Yeah,
it's okay to fall on your face. It's okay to try. It's okay to get back up and try again. It's okay to fail again. But keep going.
Yeah. And use your resources too, whether it be networking, like the internet, like research, or something that you're thinking about doing. If it's a big change, like do the research, and you're gonna find once you start getting into it and you find those different pathways that kind of may help you get to that destination you want to be. Like the universe just opens up, man. You become like voracious. Now you're putting in the after hours time. Now you're doing that because you're driven. You got that goal. You go for it. And I'm telling you, like I'm feeling it now, and it's awesome.
And then the other thing is like no matter how much research you do, sometimes you got to just take the step and figure it out as you go along.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest thing. You want to research and prepare yourself as much as possible. But like when I went into business, I'm like, I don't even know what an LLC is. I'm 21. I just want to go to the bar. And then I'm like figuring out how to set up an LLC online. And then like, I'll start getting going. They're like, oh, you need permits. I'm like, what the fuck do I need a permit? What's a permit? I ain't got a dog. Like, what do you want me to do? And then it's a learning curve. And now that I've built out 3 or 4 schools and own homes and this and that, now I know like more of the procedures on things. So it's a little bit smoother for certain things because I already got my ducks in a row, but I had to like fall on my face 1,000 times and be like, oh, you built that? You need this and you need that. And you're like, I didn't even know that. I didn't better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Just saying.
Yeah. But you got to try it. But now you got the experience. You got the firsthand experience. And now those are lessons learned. They can show someone else who may be in that same boat, who being like, maybe like, Gary, I think I want to open up a school in like Florida. What do you think I need? And you'd be like, all right, well, this is where I failed. This is where I succeeded. Like, take my learnings and go give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've always done too. Is like I've gotten better at that over the years. Is like ask people who've been there before, and really like take successful people's advice, not asking people who've been there before and lost everything and fell on everything. Because like you don't take financial advice from broke people.
Yeah.
And you don't take health advice from heavy people. And you don't take health advice, you know, like there's certain things like you just don't do. And people try to do it. What do they always say? Like, you know, you're hanging out with 4 broke people, you're the 5th.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to surround yourself with people that are moving forward. And, you know, it took me a little longer to get there because, you know, you have your friends. And I was young when I had my business and my friends were like in college and everything else. So like nobody knew how to do anything yet. Some of my guys got in the union earlier, so they were making some money and they got a little bit ahead before everybody else and this and that. But, you know, it took me a little bit, but now it's like I'm smart enough to know, like, okay, like ask the guy that has the $1 million school, grab a business consultant and have like, you got a sensei and everything else. Like it took me a while to be like, oh, fucking consultant. And you got to find the right one. But you're like, fucking consultant. What the fuck do I need that for? I'm a grown man. I do it, you know, like, but after a while, it's like, well, I have a consultant for jujitsu, my instructor. You know, I had a consultant for kickboxing, my other instructor. You know, I have a consultant for banking, the person that does my banking. You know, so like, why wouldn't I have a business consultant? It's just like your business. The way I look at it, it's like my business professor, my business sensei.
Yeah.
Somebody to go back through that's been there longer, seen more moves, knows more moves, might know a different angle of attack to approach something to the same situation that I keep getting guillotined in or I keep losing money in. Now they teach me how to defend the guillotine or they teach me how to plug the hole on the money falling that way and direct it some way else.
Yeah. And I think it's okay when moving into like big ventures like that to say to yourself at some point, but like, you know what? I don't think I can do this completely by myself. I may need some help. I may need some advice.
That's what's made my current business ventures I'm working on and like, you know, more recent past ones that I've worked on easier is by having those resources though.
Yeah.
You know, so like for me, like a big guy that's a huge resource for me is like Pat Cooligan. Huge resource for me. Yeah. He's a resource for some of the biggest guys in the industry. People don't know that, but like me and Pat have built a good relationship that we have like a friendship now.
Yeah.
Took a while. Pat's a little standoffish for a little bit. Like I've known him for years and then didn't even talk to him 2 words. But over the past couple of years, like I think we've found some even ground and we respect each other on a certain sense. So like, you know, but he's a phenomenal asset, you know, very smart man. So he's good to have, but you know, and then like, you know, my buddy Hammer from up there, he was a great asset. And, you know, I have good people around me now, you know, and they also want to see me do well. That's the other thing, like having the right person and the right consultant in your corner. That's not just looking at you as a paycheck. They want to see you do better because obviously if you're doing better, you're going to refer them and you're going to continue to pay them and everything. So, you know, they're good like that.
Yeah. And I think it's also something you and I were talking about last night, like having like an army of people around you who just want to see you succeed.
That's a big thing because especially in my business, your students, you know, and it's just the nature of the beast. Your students come up and then they think, you know, and not all of them, but like we've all been through it. Oh, I can do this better than you. I'm going to go start my school or I'm going to go teach at the school down the street because I'm not getting my, you know, whatever, or they get better and they're like, oh, well, I choked you once. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like I choked you 10,000 times for 10 years. Sweet. So that one time's awesome. Great.
Yeah.
But you know, they think they can do it better, but building, I think it comes with building the culture in your academy and trying to give people positions to grow into roles. But, you know, you're always going to have those guys, but those guys that want their own business, they're going to do it no matter what. So you just got to be able to weed them out, like not out, like if they're still in your school, that's fine. But like be able to separate them to not put them in the leadership roles because, you know, eventually they're going to go lead their own thing.
Yeah.
You know, and some people like Fox does a good job of like bringing his guys up and then they franchise or whatever underneath them. So that's one way to do it. Yeah. And then there's other guys that, you know, you just got to let them do their own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, true, man. I think culture, that's important anywhere, whether it's gym, a company, like anywhere. Cultures are make or break. So
I am a melting pot of cultures.
Oh yeah.
I'm very cultural. I'm cultured.
All the beautiful colors of the rainbow on the mat here.
Dude, I got everything.
Yeah.
I know. Everybody's like, shut up, you're a racist. I'm like, oh yes, I am. I got every color of the rainbow in my place.
Yep. And I smile at all of them.
And I fucking make fun of them all equally.
Equal rights in this building.
Oh, dude, once you step through that threshold, it's a different animal.
Yeah.
All bets are off. It is free game. It is the free land of Garrett in there.
But, all right. So what do we got? You sent me some pics today. Rollzoki's got 2 hoodies out.
Yo, start that off a different way. Like pics, like dick pics. You were thinking, like, what's going on, bro?
Yeah. So you sent me like 8 dick pics today, just randomly.
He had to zoom in.
Dude, what?
He had to zoom in. It was fine.
Yeah, that's like when you do the full zoom where your fingers just go all the way out like that. You're like, what is this? I'm like,
it's still only this big. What the fuck? Drew's like, mine don't fit on the screen, bro.
Like, dude, my phone crashed. Where'd you send to me?
I know. No, we got the new Roll Junkie Black Debris hoodie in that is balling. Beautiful. And then actually I got the sneak peek of one. I just saw them post it today, but they got a new nice gray zip up. Very, very
They got a gray zip up. Beautiful.
Just got the, they got the monkey. What do they call the monkey again? What's his name? Bandit.
Do you have a name?
Is it Bandit?
Oh, is it Bandit?
Well, they have the Bandit rash guard. I think the monkey's
so
Bandit.
Bandit ranked rash guards. I think it was nice. I had the brown belt one for like a month, and then I got promoted to the black belt, and I was just like, oh man, now I gotta.
Did you give it to George? Did you give it to George?
No, he already had it.
I know that motherfucker. I thought you just handed it down. Like, oh, I passed the torch to you.
I wish if I had known, but then I saw on Wednesday he had it, and I was like, oh, you already got the swag, man. I can't hand it down to you.
Oh, yeah, he was waiting for that. Yeah. He's like, new gear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
Done with all this purple. Brown's my new color. But yeah, no, they had the zip up. I got the element, the new element shorts finally, and then I got the new element rash guard, the one with like graffiti on the back, like you got.
Yep.
So they got a bunch of stuff in. So guys, make sure you guys check out rolljunkie.com. It's usually in the middle of our screen. And then up top, we got promo code 2LiveFools. We'll get you 15% off your entire order. And remember, like, subscribe, share. It really helps us out. We appreciate it. And you got anything else to add, my friend?
I think I'm good, man. I think I'm gonna go check out the website tomorrow and try to get me a new zip up, man. I gotta get ready. It's starting to get cold in here.
You unoriginal bastard! I had it first.
That's it. Well, you had it first, man. So now I can just copy your style. That's all right.
That's all right. I'm okay with it. You're my brother, so we could share clothes. It's fine. So promo code 2LiveFools, 15% off your entire order. Check out rolljunkie.com, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Alrighty, peace out.
Jiu-jitsu, when I hit you, then I split you.